Okay, it is 10:20 a.m. and I haven't traded anything. There wasn't really any super nice setups, but I'll go over the stocks. I am looking at Netflix and it was pretty hard to draw a trend line that seemed accurate with the way this one was trading, and it did break past it here for the first time at 215 and now it's at 219. So that is working. I just hesitated on this stock because the way it trades is it kind of moves very easily in either direction, and I don't know, just didn't feel very comfortable with this. But this was like a gap down, and it had a panic, and then it broke the trend line. And maybe this thing can't continue to make a move towards the upside, and I'll just learn from it. I don't mind missing it, and I do have an interest in that. Maybe, as you can see, it kind of broke this uptrending trend line. Maybe it will downtrend and then make like a higher low off of this bottom or something like that. That wouldn't be too bad for a potential setup. As for KG, it did do like a later panic, but the volume isn't there. I don't like the price action very much on this stock, so I didn't want to trade it for that reason. But in theory, it did make a move. It just is not really something I want to trade. DPLS, nothing really interesting with this one. It doesn't have volume either. No volume with ABML, NWBO, also no volume, and SMPW was uptrending. This one is kind of weird. There was a point where I could have taken a buy at 137, if not 140, but I didn't really uptrend that much more. It was a potential high day breakout. That's really it for right now. There isn't anything else that I'm too interested in. I think CYBO was interesting at one point here, but I didn't like the way it had the panic, right? It dropped from this 24 level to the 22s, but then it had like this freaky price action all the way up here, and I just don't like it when it does that. And I lost interest, but in theory, this thing did get to VWAP, and it is trying to uptrend some more. So this one isn't that bad, but I'll probably be just looking at Netflix right now. There isn't anything that I truly want to trade, but I do want to learn from this price action here with Netflix. It is 10:42, and I just want to make an update with the price action with Netflix, and it is pretty interesting in that it broke the trend line and then it did offer a higher low off of the bottom. Again, I've just hesitated this entire setup, but I think if I see something like this in the future, I'll be more inclined to trade it. Being a very high priced listed stock that actually moves pretty dramatically is pretty impressive. It might, let's see if it tries to break under the trend line here. But anyway, what this eventually did was a point where I could have drawn a trend line right here to the bottom, right around the transition here from red to green, and that actually made it a pretty nice line, and it made like a uptrending head and shoulders pattern, I guess. Shoulder, head, shoulder, and then I guess the second higher low, but it might try to break under it. VWAP is right there at 227, so I don't think I'll be able to trade it. I might have missed it, but maybe if it does like a really convincing drop and some kind of a bounce, maybe I'll be interested in trading something like that. But as of right now, I'll just continue to leave it alone and just learn from this price action. And yeah, that's really about it. I wonder what the options would have been like for something like this. It probably might have been very profitable to buy some, I guess, 215 calls when it started to break the line right here, and then it would have been a pretty nice sell anywhere, um, especially right around here at 221 at the very end of what was this uptrending head and shoulders pattern where it might have broken the trend line, but it didn't. It's pretty cool. I'll leave it alone again unless it does something really convincing for me to trade. I'm not just gonna randomly buy and get out if it breaks the trend line, because it's made a pretty nice move from the initial trend line that it broke right here. So I'll make an update later. Okay, it is 10:45 and I'm here to call it off. And this is actually the first time in I think 2 or 3 months that I just didn't trade anything. I didn't make anything. I didn't lose anything. There was nothing really nice in the OTC markets that I was necessarily interested in trading. Although KG did do like a morning panic bounce play. I'm just not a big fan of the way this one trades, so I kind of avoid it. But this one did offer a move in theory from the 11s to the 13s, and the move here with Netflix worked. If I see something like this in the future with another big company that has a big gap down panic like it did here, and a trend line break, I'll have more conviction to be a part of it and to actually trade it. After all, it did make a really nice move from the 215, which is when it broke the level, as high as the 220s. And once it broke this uptrending trend line that I drew here, it became a little unpredictable. At that point, I would have lost interest in trading it. Maybe it never head and shoulders at some point, like shoulder, head, shoulder, but it's not as nice anymore. Once it got past these two very simple trend lines that it followed nicely. That's about it. Maybe there are going to be trades tomorrow, maybe not, but yeah, I think it was a good learning lesson with Netflix, and definitely I'm very happy to see that something that I would normally do with a morning panic bounce play on an OTC stock, considering a trade for a trendline break, also worked here on a big, humongous company. So yeah, that's it once again, and yeah, pretty good learning lesson.